everybody, and thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Alan and Rick, thanks for the invitation and the hospitality. So my name's Alex Guerrero, and I am a resident of Sand Canyon. And we've decided to come out of Sand Canyon and start telling our story, primarily not because of the resort, but because of some new information that has come to light, and that is that in 1996, the City Council agreed in writing to set aside space for us, some open space, in perpetuity. And now they are considering rescinding that. Now that's important, and I want to just sound the alarm to Santa Clarita, because if you and your community are fighting for something, a park, or something with respect to the school, or traffic, or something, and you think that you have an agreement in place with the city, this is going to send a terrible, terrible precedent if they decide to rescind our open space to put a resort in Sand Canyon. So that's the reason we're here. So with that, let me back up and kind of give you a little bit of how I got to be here. Let me say thank you to David Hong, who's here with us today. He's a task force member, raised in Sand Canyon. His mom and dad still live there. John Higbee, a resident also of Sand Canyon, 32 years a firefighter, retired as captain, Pasadena City Fire. So he has advised us on the dangers of putting a resort in Sand Canyon. So it started with just a simple conversation amongst neighbors. Somebody was walking their dog and they said, "Hey, did you hear a developer wants to build a resort in Sand Canyon?" And I said, "Well, I kind of have heard about that." And somebody else said, "Where are we talking about? Like, where is it?" So let me start with that. Some of my neighbors call it Sand Canyon Country Club. Some call it Robinson Ranch Golf Course. Some call it the Sycamore Bar and Grill, because some of us would go up there and eat. So that's what we're talking about, that area right there, right? And in 1996, it became, right around that, a little after that, became a golf course. And that's where the open space came to us. So we started looking into it, and I will, and just so you can stay in touch with us, StopSandCanyonResortGuerrero.org, that's our website. And we have a Facebook page which has about 200 people now after about 3 weeks. So a lot of residents posting, and there's a lot of interaction. Who are we? I can do it from here, right? Look at this, high tech. We're a group of concerned Sand Canyon residents who have come together to form the Stop the Sand Canyon Resort Task Force to stop the development of the proposed Sand Canyon Country Club Hotel and Resort, a massive commercial facility that will be one of the largest resorts in Los Angeles County, would destroy the quiet rural lifestyle that we've worked hard to create and protect here in our canyon. So what we decided after we gathered our information is that we needed to share it with our community, the residents in Sand Canyon. So we went over to Church of the Canyons and we said, "Hey, could we do a community event here?" And they said, "Sure, we are here to be of service to the community." So 300 people showed up a week ago. Yes, line out the door. We had to wait to start. It was, just a wonderful thing. And so I started with the agenda. And we talked about the project overview, and I'll go over that in a second. Emergency evacuation dangers, major zone change, special standards elimination, the cumulative infrastructure burden, open space elimination, property values, and we went into a Q&A, right? Okay, so what is being proposed? Let me start with a quote from the developer. "This will be one of the largest resorts in Los Angeles County." That already scares me, right? 3,000 occupants, which are guests, employees, and visitors. The population of Sand Canyon right now is 2,800. So what the developer is proposing is to double that, right? 383,000 total square feet. There's a main hotel. That's one 3-story building. There's a main hotel basement and back of house, which is where you put the air conditioning and all that. A wedding hotel, that's a 3-story building. View villas, 14 2-story villas. Oak villas, 9 1-story and 1 2-story villa. A grand ballroom, a junior ballroom, meeting rooms and pre-function space, dining, spa, gym, salon, a children's center, and of course parking, because all those thousands of people need to be driving right through here and in through there and increasing traffic, right? So that's where we started. What we said was, this is about the facts. This isn't about any individual. This isn't a protest. This isn't anything but what is it that this developer is proposing, right? So this is what I recall when there was the sand fire. I recall us trying to get out of there. We were riding our horses. We were putting the elderly who lived next door to us, who didn't drive anymore, in our cars, and we were just trying to come out of there while the firefighters went in to try to save our homes. And John and Mark Whaling, who was the chief of the fire, who was the captain of 123, which is in the canyon, spoke that night. And what they said was, this is a bad idea. It's already difficult enough to get us out of there in a fire, right? You've got Little Tujunga closed off. Placidita's probably going to be shut off because there's just a lot to burn. So we're all coming out here. We're all coming to you, right? Out of there, however we can get out of there. So that scares us, right? And so what I recall also on that day is we just took what we could take. We took some basic information, some insurance policies, some photos of loved ones, and we got out of there because they told us to get out of there. So there's John right there and Mark. And that's your view of us, I think. That's what you guys saw, right? And so it wasn't that we weren't following direction. They said get out, and we tried to get out, but we couldn't take everything. And we left some possessions, and they burned down. We could not get out of there fast enough when the winds turned, and so that scares us, And so the developer has said, our building, this hotel, will be a shelter in place. To which the captain of 123, who's now retired, said, that's a terrible idea. Why would you shelter in place in the middle of this fire? Why wouldn't we get everybody out of there? And by the way, the air conditioning is going to be shut off. It's going to be hot and smoky. Why would we house people there? That's just a bad idea, right? That's what it looked like for us trying to escape once they told us to evacuate. That's actually at the corner of the street that you go up to the hotel. So we put that there for a reason. It took us 2.5 hours to get out of there because there was no evacuation plan in place. And so nobody stopped the cars from getting off the 14 freeway at Sand Canyon. So cars were getting off, and then they couldn't come in, so they had to make a U-turn. They're making a U-turn. It's bottlenecking us. And it took a while for everybody kind of to get it together out there. I love our firefighters, our CHP, and the sheriffs, but it took them a minute to figure out what the plan was. And what we were told was, a fire changes and moves. And so I get that. You can't have a plan necessarily in place. You think you have a plan, and then the wind comes, and then that's not the plan anymore, right? I get that. So that was Captain Whaling who spoke. And so this was everybody speaking on September 11th. There was multiple people. This went on for 2 hours. I'm going to try to get this done in 20 minutes, but I just want to let you guys know at a high level what we were doing. So this is, number 3 is, Little Tujunga. Number 2, Placidita Canyon. And then up there is our only way out. That's kind of what it looks like for us. So it scares us. The captain told us that about 14 years ago, the chief said to him, I need you to figure out a way to get people out of here if there's a fire. And he stood up last week in front of everybody and he said, we knew exactly how this fire was going to happen. We're experts at this. We knew where it was going to start. We knew where it was going to jump. We knew it was going to shift. We knew we were going to have these problems. And we then said, there's no pointer, but there's a little white square up there. They suggested we build a bridge up there. So that is the LA County Fire saying the way to get these people out is let's build a bridge over the wash. This is 15 years ago, and they were right. So I moved on to zone changing after this. So that was emergency evacuation. And one of the questions that came up in my community, and we're just homeowners. I'm just a normal guy, just trying to figure this out. I had a neighbor say, can somebody just come and build one of the biggest resorts in LA County in the middle of a canyon? Can they just do that? And I was like, well, he says he's doing it. And they go, yeah, but can he do it? So we investigated that. And what we found is no. He can't start tomorrow and do this. He has to change the zoning. And what we discovered is it's the biggest leap that you can possibly make. So right now it's an open space golf course. He's going to make this a commercial zoning that if it fails, because one thing we're saying is, and this no, I love my neighbors, we love our community, it's no disrespect to us, but who would want to go to a resort in Sand Canyon? Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go to the mountains to ski or to the ocean to play? Like, what? Like, who is going to come? So we're not buying it that it's going to be successful. And if it fails, then they can build a Costco there as a result of this zoning. They can build apartments there as a result of this. They can build darn near anything in that canyon. So now we're feeling bamboozled. Imagine if you're sitting in our seat. And so this is why I keep going back to, they made a promise to us. Promise made, promise kept, maybe not with the city council that we have now. So massive high-density commercial use violates our special standards. Alan had mentioned that. Destroys rural and equestrian lifestyle of Sand Canyon. Opens doors for additional commercial development in Sand Canyon. They can put a gas station up there if they want, if it fails. And I don't see how it's going to succeed. Okay, where are we? And you guys who have fought for your community have seen similar charts. We are here. We're in planning and development, so we've got a minute. The developer is telling everybody it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. Like, I wish people would tell the truth, you know? But I understand how this world works. You tell people it's a done deal and they don't fight, right? I really regret not being on top of or knowing what was happening with respect to the other developments. Maybe we couldn't have stopped it, but we could have improved it. There's definitely a better way of delivering what they're getting ready to deliver to us. And we'll talk about that in a second, right? So we definitely, it's all about the planning department, it's about the planning commission, and it's about the city council. Those are the two bodies that are gonna make the decision, you know? Special Standards District, the city established Sand Canyon Special Standard District in 1992 when it adopted the city's municipal code. Right? So we don't have sidewalks and we don't have lights and we don't have those kind of things. And that's the way we want it. We like it. Not everybody likes that. Some people come to my house and they're like, I can't even see down the street. I don't like this, right? And I get that. It's an acquired taste, but it's what we wanted. That's why we moved there. We want to protect that, just like you want to protect where you live, right? It's what you like. The purpose of the Special Standard District is to maintain, preserve, enhance the rural and equestrian character of Sand Canyon. Now they want to put this massive commercial thing right smack in the middle of it when they promised us that that would never happen. Okay, then we moved on to the cumulative burden on infrastructure. So what happened also on my block when I'm talking to my neighbors is somebody else said, Vista Canyon, they're going to be building houses and stuff there, aren't they? I said, yes. And somebody else said, do you know they're building a hotel there? And I was like, that I did not know. And then somebody else said, yeah, do you know there's going to be a movie theater there? I was like, I didn't know that either. Like, maybe I should investigate some of this stuff and also report to the community. So that's one of the things that we did is we wanted everybody in Sand Canyon to know what was coming. Because many of us were saying, yeah, I'm not sure what's coming. What is it, right? So for the developments, high level, and then we'll go into a little bit of the details. Vista Canyon, that's housing in a hotel. We emphasize that because what some of our neighbors said, some are in favor of it, they said, well, when our family comes from out of town, it'd be nice to have a hotel. We can't put everybody in our place. Well, there's a hotel going into Vista Canyon. Sand Canyon Plaza, Mancara, you may never have heard of that, but we're going to talk to you about it. Metrolink train station, I'm surprised. I'm going to tell you 90% of my neighbors didn't know that big building out there in the middle of that wash was a Metrolink train station. That's a train station stop right there. Robinson Ranch Canyon Home Development, you've never heard of that. Sand Canyon Hotel and Resort, that's what we're talking about. And then the famous roundabout that's just still driving us crazy, you know, right over there at Lost Canyon. We're still trying to fight that. And a traffic impact. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Vista Canyon, okay, here, the green there is Sand Canyon Country Club proposed resort. Over there is the Vista Canyon, you see that, right? Sand Canyon Plaza up top. And then this Mancara and Robinson Sand Canyon homes. Mancara is going to be, let's move forward here. Oh, let's do Vista Canyon. Approved in 2011. You may not know this. This may be educational for you because you may be saying, I know Vista Canyon's coming. Well, what is it? 1,100 units, 950,000 square feet of commercial, office, retail, a hotel, and a theater. Structured parking, open space, public parks, trails, new Metrolink and bus transit stations. There is a bridge that's coming in, thank God, and that's estimated completion in 2023. That's a lot. I think that's enough for us. That's our argument. We can drive 3 miles and get to all that. You don't need to endanger us and take away our open space. Sand Canyon Plaza, so that's across from Soledad, right? Diagonal from the Vons. That's the space that was the mobile homes, right? And it's all overgrown. I want to call that guy and say, can you please be a good neighbor and cut that? Approved 580 residential units, assisted living facility, 140,000 square feet commercial center. It's in grading, and they're supposed to be breaking ground any minute. So we got that. Okay, that's cool too, restaurants. Mancara, that's that space. That's going to be 109 single-family homes, large lots, equestrian center. Okay. Then we got the Robinson's Ranch, Sand Canyon Homes. This cannot happen until Mancara happens, because they will piggyback off of that infrastructure. So once the roads are built there and the streets are built there, these guys can take it from there, right? So one has to happen before the other.
Does Mancara comply with the special standard district lot size?
Yes, yeah. And if I got into that right now, it'd be 15 minutes, because there's more to that Robinson's Ranch, a deal that was cut. You were there for it probably. You remember it, right? So that's, and then the Sand Canyon Resort. Okay, so that's right smack in the middle of us. Open space. I mean, we're happy when you guys come and enjoy the open space too. It's really there for all of us, you know, and people come from all over and they hike this. And this is our backyard basically. And they want to take this away from us because now they've decided that that's what they're going to do. And you know, I grew up in a community where developers would come and they would just railroad us. We didn't have a voice. Like, we didn't know how to fight, you know? I grew up in poverty. We didn't stand up for each other. And I grew up and I said, this isn't going to happen. We're going to stand up to the city council. We vote for them. We elected them. I voted for every single one of them. And I won't vote for them again, and many people won't vote for them if that is the precedent that they are going to set. Okay. What can you do, right? Write your representatives, what we told everybody. Spread the word to your neighbors. That's what we're doing. You're our neighbors. We came here to tell the story. Attend planning commission meetings to voice opposition. Attend city council meetings to voice opposition. Write a letter to the Signal. Write a letter to Santa Clarita Valley News. Write a letter to K-Hits. All of those news outlets have written about us now, and I'm glad that they've been fair about it. We had a sign-up sheet and a mailing list, and then all of a sudden, within the last 10 days, it's kind of taken on a life of its own. So a man that had come to the church that night called the next day and said, and we didn't even know him. He said, I want to pay for 1,000 bumper stickers and hand them out to everybody. And I was like, I'll take one, right? So we're trying to figure that out. Somebody else said, I want to do lawn signs that says, stop this resort, right? So that's where we are. Did I miss anything, you guys, my team members? Is it a good presentation that we put together? John.
Just to point that when the traffic was backed up on Sand Canyon after the evacuation was announced, after the evacuation was announced, the traffic on Sand Canyon was at a standstill, and it took one of our residents who lived near the fire station 2 hours to get to my house. I live in the canyon because of the traffic. So if the fire had come through there, it actually, and I don't think we had the slides up there, would actually have trapped some people, similar to the incident on the 15 freeway where 150 cars were trapped from the front and the back by the fire, and then it came through the middle, and I don't know how many cars it destroyed. But anyway, the infrastructure just won't support more vehicles. We're having a hard time getting people out of the canyon during emergencies just with our present population.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate it. So before I sit down, I know I've said it 2, 3, 5 times, you know, we're not offended if the rest of the city says that's a Sand Canyon thing, like that's your fight, right? And we're not offended by that. But what we want to tell you is the city is reneging on a deal. And we can't set that precedent, you know, because one day you guys are going to be in our shoes and you're going to think you have a deal. And we'll be there for you, believe me, because we're loud like that and obnoxious, and we will come. You just ask, and we will be there. Thank you for your time, for the time that you've given me. Really appreciate this. Thank you for letting me speak on this.